Welcome back to the channel, back to the basement, and in today's video we are going to start the self-leveling in this room. When I first started the project down here, I knew that I wanted to do the self-leveling in this side of the room. The goal was to put the self-level, and then after self-leveling this side of the room, put tile to meet up the old tile. And I was going to do this trick that I saw on Homemade Modern, I think the channel's called, and I'll do an overlay and leave the link in the description so that you could see what is it that he did. And one of the things that I've learned from seeing that video is, instead of ripping up this tile and trying to find a tile that matches to match with the old one, so when people walk in they don't see the difference, that never works. It never works. So it's better just making it part of the design. So instead of looking for a tile that looks exact, get a tile that is like a mosaic and make a transition between the two. In this case, in this room, after doing a whole bunch of measurements, we're not going to be able to do that. The difference between this corner and behind the camera where the door is 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches. That means that no matter what I do here, if I wanted to meet up in the middle of the room, this is still going to be low compared to the entrance of the door. The only way I can do this and have it make sense is if I make the whole entire room flat. Now, I have a drain in the room, so the right thing to do will be to pitch everything to the drain. The only thing is that I have so much stuff in this room that to take everything out, to pitch it to that drain, is just going to make things more complicated and difficult to do. I decided to do the self-level in 4 corners, and I'm going to start with this side. But I want to go more into details, and I'm going to show you how I got to this conclusion. So let's do that now. So to start, here I have a laser level. And I marked everything across so that later on, if I move the gang box and move the line, I will be able to get it again, as you can see right here. And I also have a measuring tape. So here, where it's outside the room and I have no control, we are at 24 inches. We mark right outside the room, and that's what we have to match in the inside of the room. If we go a couple of tiles, so this is the first, second, third, near the drain, as you can see, we are already at, let's call it 24.5. So we're only a 1/2 inch down from the door. If we continue to the back corner, which is, this will be the 4th tile, the 5th tile, and the 6th, we are already at 25.25. So they went down 1.25 inches. And if we just go straight to the end of the room, the corner, we are at 26 5/8. 26 5/8. So as you saw, I just can't make this corner meet in the middle of the room and do that trick that you saw from Homemade Modern and have it be productive. If I do that work and I don't make everything the same level, all the water is going to rush to this corner. So I just have to make it level where it's just easy to mop and push everything to the drain. Because like I said, I could pitch everything, that would be the right way to do things, but I just have too much stuff in this room, and to pitch it, I have to get everything out, find that angle. But we're gonna settle for making everything just level, and instead of having a pool in one corner, the whole room will be a pool. The whole room will be a pool, and it'd just be easier to mop, pick it up, wet back, and put a dryer on it, and it won't be like moldy on one corner of the room. So that's what we're gonna do. And the way that we're going to be breaking this up is in 4 corners. This line right here, this grout line right here, goes straight across the room. And that's how we're going to break it into 2. And the way we're going to break it into 4 is this grout line right here. This grout line to this grout line, we're going to have this whole area meet the 24 inches. The good thing about that is that all we're gonna have to do is pour right on top of this. Since this is 2 inches below, as you guys saw, we just have to pour on top of it and not have to worry about anything. We are gonna have to put in some plaster weld, it's called. Some blue plaster weld, which is for concrete. You do a light coat on top of it. I'm also gonna be cutting some lines into it with the grinder, so that there could be somewhat of a bite between the two mating surfaces. And that's what we're gonna start doing now. It's the next day, and while I was cutting up this floor, chopping it up and getting it ready for the self-level, I was thinking, I don't think it's a good idea just to put self-level in this corner especially. When you're planning on self-leveling a floor, you can't do it more than 1/2 inch, 3/4. And over here in this corner, we have 2.5 to 2 5/8, and that's gonna cause the self-level to not cure right or crack. It's a problem. You can't do it more than 1/2 inch, 3/4. So what I was thinking about doing was putting concrete in this area to a level where, so for example, if it's 2.5 inches, putting 2 inches of concrete and then putting the self-level so it could be 1/2 inch on top of it. And that's how we get that finished floor. That was my reason for stopping and collecting, checking out prices. Concrete is $8. I use this concrete called Maximizer. It's an 80-pound bag, but it has a lot more. That's $8, and the self-level could go from $30 to $55. So that's the way to go. So is that, not only is that not the way you use self-level, it's also a cheaper route. For the rest of this video, we're gonna build the form. I've got some rebar because I do not want that concrete cracking. If the concrete cracks, it's gonna go through the self-level, and I don't want the self-level cracking. So I have the rebar, I have a form that we're gonna build around it, and we're gonna get this done. So that's what we're gonna do now. So that's it, the prep work is done. We chopped up that area up there just so that the concrete can have more thickness and it could be stronger, less cracks. We scraped up the floor with the grinder so that the concrete could adhere and penetrate the tile. We have the rebar epoxied in so that the concrete won't move if it was ever to get loose. And we have the concrete weld. All that's left is to let that concrete weld dry and we can start pouring. But that's gonna be on the next video. If you learned something new, let me know by giving me a like. If you have any questions, comments, let me know in the comments down below. And if you're interested in seeing the rest of this project, the concrete, the self-level, the sheetrock go up, the rest of this wall go up, consider subscribing. The projects are gonna continue and we're gonna get this basement done. And I hope to see you guys on the next one. Thanks.